Hi everyone, this is James here again, and I'm here to share another reflection on one of my dreams. So this will be the second in this series of dream reflections that I'm recording. I don't do these very often. I think it's probably been about a month, maybe 6 weeks since the first one I recorded about the nerds. And that's because you just simply don't always have the ability to recall the dreams, or it just doesn't impact you strongly enough. There's a number of reasons. Time is another one. You just don't have the time always to do this. But as it happens, I have a bit of time on my hands at the moment, and I had a dream last night that had a sequence of images in it that has stayed with me today. And I thought I'd take the opportunity just to record what those images were, what was happening, and maybe speculate a little bit about what it means. Again, as always, if you'd like to share a dream that you've had, I'd be delighted to listen to it or hear about it in some way. So if you feel inclined to make a recording, please do so and post the link just in the comments below. I'd love to check it out. So without further ado, I'll take a sip. And go into what I experienced in the dream. What I remember was I was in a situation where I was scaling a mountain. A mountain that was covered in snow and ice. It was obviously very high altitude and in a very, very cold part of the world. It wasn't bleak, but it was challenging to climb in this environment. What I remember that was odd about it was that the expedition was being led by a couple who were basically retirement age people, a man and a woman, who this must have been their business. They would take people out on these tours, and so I suppose off the bat it's a bit strange to imagine the tour guides being 70 plus in age. Not impossible, but unusual. They were just a pretty ordinary middle class white couple, Australian, who were leading the expedition for us. I can't quite remember who was with us. There seemed to be a small group, no more than sort of 4 or 5 of us, in addition to the couple. And we got to a part of the mountain where we sort of stopped for a breather, just to take a break. And it was there that we talked a little bit about where we were, because we were getting very close to the top of the mountain. Like, you could see the top of the mountain in view, and my understanding was that the expedition would kind of not normally go further than that point. Once you hit the summit, that was it. But I remember having a question, which was, what's on the other side of the mountain, of the top, once you go past that point? And the lady who was one of the tour guides talked a little bit about how we were at the top end of the world. We must have been in the North Pole. And she said there's basically nowhere else to go. This is it. This is the end of the world in this sense. And I said, but there's got to be something over the top. Have you gone over there? And she said, yes, it's different, but we'll go there and we'll check it out. And I said, okay, that'd be great. So we kept moving and we got up to the top of the mountain. We went over the top, and just beyond sort of the edge of this snow-capped mountain was a forest. And it was very kind of lush, lots and lots of green trees, leaves, and relatively sunny, which I put down to the fact that we were, pretty high altitude, so it was hard to escape the sun, even though it didn't appear to be there when we were back a little bit further down the mountain. I think we'd sort of passed the cloud cover, and now we were in this sort of new territory. And the tour guide just sort of started taking me through the trees, and she noted that there was, lots of bird life here. But she was talking about it in a way like she felt she could be doing more for the natural environment, or in particular the animals that lived there. And there was a bird that came past. It was a magpie, which is an Australian bird, for those who don't know. Maybe they are elsewhere in the world, I don't know, but they're pretty common here. This magpie went past, and she sort of commented that, something to the effect of, "Oh, the poor thing." And I said, "Oh, well, there's plenty of greenery around here. There's things for it to eat. I'm sure it would be able to find stuff." And she said, "Yes, but I'd love to just be able to just give it a little mouse or something like that, just to help it in some way." And I thought, okay, it seems like there's lots of stuff here already, but okay. And a mouse? I'm not aware of magpies typically going after mice as part of their diet. I'm sure they'd eat one if they could get it, but you don't hear about it very often. And anyway, we sort of left on that note, and we sort of went back up over the mountain and then started pretty much climbing back down. We met other people on the way down. I think there was a tour group of school kids or something who were coming up as well. That's pretty much all I remember from that sequence of the dream. But for some reason it stayed with me. There was something about the sincerity that the woman had about feeling like she could or should be able to do a bit more to help the animal life in that little extra zone at the top of the world. The metaphor of a mountain to be climbed with some kind of paradise on the other side is not lost on me. I happen to be in a position at the moment where I am in a bit of a transitional phase in my career. So there is uncertainty for me at the moment. And I think it's pretty obvious that it's about the idea of, getting through something, overcoming a challenge, and it not being unreasonable to expect that there's something good on the other side of overcoming that challenge, whatever it is for me. But it just always fascinates me with just how direct and powerful the symbolism and the imagery can be in these dreams. That they're not always easy to interpret. To me, this is relatively easy because, as I explained, I'm pretty aware of my own situation at the moment. But look, it may mean other things too that I haven't uncovered yet. But I just love how in the dream space, the mind is able to conjure images of places and people that you've never been to or never seen before, and construct some sort of free-forming narrative where things mean things in the dream too. Like, that place meant something to that lady, and she'd obviously been there many times before in the context of the dream story. I just find that amazing. Anyway, I don't have too much more to add to this, but like I said, this is the second in the series of my dream reflections, and hope you get something out of that, if only found it a little bit interesting. But like I said, I would love to hear about any dreams that you might wish to share as well, whatever they are, whatever they're about. So if you feel inclined, just upload it and post the link in the comments and I'll check it out. Alright, thanks for listening, and see you next time.